It's Jayo Stole Sports. We just finished off one of the most magical seasons in the NFL. Jay Lynch is here on live and direct.
Yes,
Just
sir.
had a
Yes,
Super
sir.
Bowl in NOLA. You know about that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It looks like they had a good time in New Orleans. It's a great place to be. It's a great place, great city to have a Super Bowl, host a Super Bowl. It looked like everything went well. There was no injuries, no killings, no deaths that were reported. So that's always good to hear. And we have a new Super Bowl champion
Ooh.
in the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah,
That three-peat did not happen. I guess I was wrong on my prediction. I believe you were on the Chiefs as well.
yeah.
Uh, but
Stupid of me to say that, but it is what it is.
it is what it is. But again, we honestly we fell for it. The media component of it,
Yeah,
we just fell for the Chiefs. They're gonna find a way.
yeah,
But we didn't look at the roster and on
yeah.
paper, who
Didn't
was the
look at
better
that.
team by far? The Eagles. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it just made sense for Eagles to win in that. I didn't expect them to win in that type of fashion. But we'll get into that.
Yeah. Basically, this was a blowout. You know what I'm saying? 24 zip at halftime. People were very, very high on Patrick Mahomes, and there was talks about him. He wins this. Is he already better than Brady? So a lot of things were going on, and he had a terrible performance. He was running for his life. He was chucking the ball into the turf when he could have found some checkdowns. He could have threw the ball out of bounds and lived to see another day. But he's trying to constantly extend the plays. And these guys up front, man, they didn't call no blitzes. These guys up front, they're just bullying their way through.
Yeah,
And something that needs to be said is you look at college football. What conferences run college football?
yeah. Georgia,
That
Alabama,
exactly the
yeah,
SEC,
the SEC.
the Big Ten. And if you look at the rosters,
Yeah,
all SEC guys on Philly, all
yeah,
Big Ten guys on Philly, Saquon, Cooper,
yeah,
Jalen,
yeah.
AJ, Devontae, Jordan Davis, Jalen.
Yeah.
So they just like
Smart.
manhandled the Chiefs. The Chiefs had no answers for that defense. And basically everybody that we said would have big games for the Eagles, they had those big games other than Saquon. And I know you're in the betting world, and if you put Saquon anytime touchdown because I did that also.
Yeah.
That one stung, fam.
Yeah, yeah, that one hurts, right? That one hurts. I definitely went big on that one. They had a boost on Bet365. I was on that and it didn't come through. But again, Jalen Hurts did have a big game. As we predicted, the first touchdown, if you're on Jalen Hurts' first touchdown, you survived the close one because Jahan Dotson almost got that first touchdown,
I
man, and,
know.
and you thought it was in, really and truly, but you just had that knee down short of the
Yeah.
goal line. But yeah, Hurts showed up. Hurts showed up. AJ showed up. Devontae Smith showed up. The team as a whole, I was excited to see, especially because we touched upon Cooper Dijon. I say
Mhm.
Dijon, even though it's
Mhm.
DeJean, I say
Mhm.
Dijon because he has that sauce. You know what I mean? So, with that big pick six, rookie, what a
Oh yeah.
play on his birthday! Like,
Oh yeah.
wow, that really got that team going. And again, this is a roster that again has a lot of players on a rookie contract.
Mhm.
So again, the AJ Brown's not satisfied. So it'll be interesting to see how this Eagles team does going into the next season too.
Yeah, like let's look at the Chiefs real quick. So obviously they got dusted.
Hmm.
And I mentioned that I already have Patrick Mahomes as second all time
Yeah,
behind Tom Brady.
yeah,
But when you have a performance like that, and you have a performance like you did against the Bucks in a previous Super Bowl,
hmm,
you can't be getting blown out twice.
yeah, 100%.
So after those two performances, he has to go back down. He has to go back down. I put Peyton back at number two. Patrick Mahomes has to go back down, maybe even back.
I don't honestly. I think
I know you're gonna say it's not his fault
no,
because
no, no, I'm not even gonna say that, right? Because I do think it's his fault. He had a terrible game.
horrible.
But it's interesting. interesting parallels because we look at Peyton Manning, right? His two losses. No, sorry, one loss as a
Mhm,
Denver quarterback.
mhm.
He played terrible in that game against the Seahawks, right? He had a similar game to Patrick Mahomes when they got blowed out in that game. So
But the
it's
defense,
interesting.
that defense is generational.
I agree, I agree. But this Eagles defense might be too. Um, but no, no. Again, I don't know if like is it Payne in that too? Maybe Joe Montana, maybe. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? But again, I agree with Mahomes. We gotta re-look at
Yes.
that top three. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? In terms of him, again, he will definitely prove us wrong in terms of Chiefs come back next season, and it's the same. It's the same thing. Top of the AFC, making a run to the Super Bowl. Then again, we're gonna put him back in that conversation.
Yeah.
Um, but after that performance, who knows if he loses Travis Kelce? Um, he's already losing DeAndre Hopkins. I think he might retire. It's rumored that he may be calling it quits. But a
Uh,
great career.
yeah.
Uh, that he's
Horrible.
had for sure. Like again, he's made it to the Super Bowl, an AFC title, um, touchdowns, receiving
Mhm.
yards, big plays. Again, a Hall of Famer for sure. So it'll be interesting to see what the Chiefs do. Because again, you look at the roster, it wasn't that good, right?
Mhm.
Um, and they never played that good all season. They never put up
All
30
one
points
score wins. All one wins.
all one score wins. So it's like again, we just fell for the narrative and the media
Yeah.
hype of the Chiefs and them getting finding a way to win. But again, they need to do some things in terms of rebulking this roster. I know Rashid Rice will be coming back. That will help again, especially because Worthy had a big game as a rookie,
Worthy was
two
the guy.
touchdowns, and he
Yes.
had 150 something receiving
I
yards.
put I put over rushing and receiving. They were disrespecting. It was like 50 or
50,
60.
56. Yeah, it's
Like
nonsense. He
what?
had to put a buck up. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, when they get Rice back, Xavier, again, if they lose Travis Kelce though, that's a big loss, right? So it'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see how they retool and try to come back to be a Super Bowl contender.
And like, don't get me wrong, like Travis Kelce had a decent season numbers wise. He still had
Mhm.
823 yards,
Yeah.
but he didn't have that juice. And we
Did it.
all know Travis Kelce is one of the best route runners in the NFL. And not for tight end, for
Hmm.
route runners,
Yeah.
all players, receivers, slot, tight end, running back.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like he didn't have that wiggle.
Yeah, and
You know,
CD CD
he
had him
couldn't
in his
separate.
pocket. CD had him in his pocket. CD hit him with that hit, stood up there and
Yeah.
said, "What? What's up?"
Hey, we told them, CD
Yeah,
go
we
get in
tried
that
to.
head.
We tried to tell him,
CD,
man.
you see CD just standing looking at him like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all posted on IG after. Talk about
Florida
his
boy.
ex, he should
Shout out
stay
my
with it.
Florida boy. Man,
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited for guys like Zach Bond and
Mm,
CD, former
yeah.
Saints,
Okay.
to win it in that Superdome. It's good for them to have that, to lift up that trophy in a familiar arena. So shout out to the Eagles and shout out to those players for sure.
Yes, and during the Super Bowl media day, obviously, man like Jambo, he was
Yeah.
one of the analysts,
Yeah,
and
he was killing it,
oh,
man.
he was doing his thing, man. There was all the
Yeah,
time at one of the bars, he was like dressed up as a pirate and he was just serving drinks, standing on the bar,
yeah,
standing on
man.
the table.
Hey, man, we need to bring that boy back to Nola, man. We should never let him go. But hey, different
But
story.
he was like passing W's, passing W's, passing W's.
Yeah.
And this had me nervous about Hopkins. He passed Hopkins like three W's and he's dropping them, fam. He's dropping them. Like, are you not a, aren't you're known for
He had
catching
to throw
everything.
three of them things,
He
boy.
dropped three of them things, bro. That's
Yeah.
when I was like, no, 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 something is wrong. And yeah, he was non-effective. Yes, he did have a touchdown, but come
In
on, game
garbage
was
time.
already done. Garbage
Hmm.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, those Eagles players, everyone played, everyone but their best player had a great game.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every single person. And
Yeah.
Steve Spagnuolo, again, stopping the run, he hasn't allowed a 100-yard rusher in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That streak continues.
Hmm.
But he couldn't stop Jalen Hurts, and he
Yeah.
couldn't stop Jalen Hurts running for first downs.
Hmm.
So yes, they did their job, which is take the best player out the game,
Yeah.
but they couldn't stop anybody else.
Yeah. Again, we had a discussion last episode about Jalen Hurts, right? And we discussed whether if he wins, where
Mm.
do we put him
Hmm.
in terms of current quarterbacks
Hmm.
ranked top in the top five
Yeah.
or not? So
Hmm.
now after that performance, after the Super Bowl MVP, what are your thoughts now on Jalen Hurts?
Oh, he's top five for sure.
Mm,
He's top five for sure. It's crazy because we all look at the NFC and we're just like, there's nobody there that's interesting. There's nobody
mm,
there that's like a top performer week in and week out. But if you're making the playoffs season after season, if you're going to NFC Championship season after season, if you're making the Super Bowl season after season,
hmm.
you have to look at a quarterback like that, and that's Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
He's winning, he's winning, he's winning. He
Hmm.
finally got the biggest win of his career. He
Yeah.
has the Super Bowl. And the thing is, you have to appreciate that this guy has won at every level. And this guy's always even keel. He's an even keel dude, right? He's all about the main thing is the main thing. And some stats, interesting stats that he has. He has more playoff touchdowns than Lamar Jackson, more playoff wins than Joe Burrow. And in both the Super Bowls, he's outplayed Mahomes.
Hmm.
So I am not even mad if you say he is top three. I know there's gonna probably be some rumblings, but he's top
Yeah.
five for sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think you have to slot him right behind. I mean, it's an interesting conversation where you got to put Mahomes there, and then you could say Josh Allen is two, just him coming off an MVP season. Now the conversation is Lamar or Hurts, right?
Yeah.
Um, Lamar two MVPs. He's much more involved in terms of the offense and ha
Mhm.
having a successful and winning per se in terms of I guess him having impact,
Yeah.
right? And it having to go through him in terms of impacting winning. But Hurts, you just look at his ability to win and what being at to two Super Bowls
Yeah.
and now winning one. Like I'm sorry, but like you gotta kind of give the edge to Hurts there. So I'd put Hurts at three and then Lamar at four and
Mm.
then Burrow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that's just we're talking right now. We are
that's it.
talking right now. This
Yeah,
is not a lifetime achievement award. We are talking right now. He's getting the job done.
yeah.
He's getting the job done. I want to talk about Nick Sirianni, man. See,
Hmm.
he's my second favorite coach in the NFL. I'll go DeMeco Ryans is my favorite, but
Yeah,
a guy like Nick Sirianni, man, he hypes you up.
yeah,
This
yeah.
guy is not scared to cuss his own fans. He's not scared to
Hmm.
cuss his players. He's not
Yeah,
scared to say Saquon. You're not playing this last game. I don't care
yeah,
if you want to break the record. You're not playing
yeah.
this last game because we have bigger fish to fry.
Hmm.
And it all works out in the end. See
Yeah,
this guy turning up in the club after.
yeah, yeah.
Man.
Shotgun and beers and
Big
everything.
legend.
Back to his Penn State games.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And then Fangio, obviously,
yeah.
he had a rough go in Denver.
Hmm.
Came to Philly, number
Hmm.
one defense.
Yeah.
Obviously, the personnel is there. We gotta coach them guys up, man. Gotta coach. And I always tell people when you have a guy in the box, when you have one coordinator in the box, man, he sees the game different.
Differently. He just there seeing it differently. It's true. It's true, man. Yeah, I
But
agree.
yeah, so nah, the Eagles, I think they can get back there.
Okay.
I'm not gonna necessarily say they're gonna win again next year,
Yeah.
but they could probably win, if not next year, the year after.
Well, look at
Because
the
they,
NFC. Look at the NFC at the end of the day. You have the
yeah,
Lions,
yeah.
sure, right?
Their
They
guys
had
are
some
gone.
injuries. Yeah.
Their guys,
And
it's
this,
gonna be, I'm gonna say it's impossible for them to make NFC Championship because Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn are gone.
yeah, and you know, and you see what Aaron Glenn's doing over there. He's cleaning up house. He's no jokes. He's cleaning up
Yo,
house.
he's
Okay?
like, man, you think you're staying? Nah, nobody's safe.
Yeah, no one's safe. Sorry.
Nah.
What's your name? Aaron? Yeah, Aaron. A Aaron, out of here. Um, but
One
yeah,
one.
But yeah, I think Eagles do have a good shot to make a run back to the Super Bowl. Looking at their roster, looking at these rookie players are only going to get better. Um, and Saquon again, he's going to be hungry. He's still young. He's still in his prime. And you have AJ and Devontae Smith paid and ready to go. So again, focus on the trenches, the line, the D line, pay who needs to get paid. I know Josh Sweat is a guy that may go elsewhere. He had a great Super Bowl. He could have been MVP really outside of Jalen Hurts. Um, Josh Sweat may take a bag elsewhere, but
Hmm.
again, who knows? Miles Garrett is out there on the market, so they might get replace the Josh Sweat with the Miles Garrett. And I think Philly's an attractive team in the offseason as well, in terms of players wanting to go there. So I think again, outside of the Lions that lost two um, pivotal head coaches,
Yeah.
in Green Bay or Tampa or the Vikings. I
Uh,
just don't see much of a threat in the NFC like how it is in the AFC.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're definitely the most dominant team.
yeah,
And Jalen Hurts has proved that it doesn't matter who his offensive coordinator is because he's going to lose Kellen Moore now.
hmm
S-
yeah,
Producing.
yeah,
Those are quarterbacks that it doesn't matter where they go, it doesn't matter who's coaching them. You can't call them no system quarterback. He's
hmm
getting a new offensive coordinator over and over, and he's getting the job done, running and throwing.
yeah,
I respect a guy like that. Top five, top three, whatever you want to say. Jalen Hurts is a winner, man. Jalen
hmm
Hurts proved the doubters wrong, man. And yeah, it's gonna be tough. And you even heard Green Bay, Josh Jacobs is like, oh, like we need a certified number one
yeah. They want
wide receiver.
It's Devontae Adams. So what happened with Devontae Adams? So Aaron Rodgers is likely leaving the New York Jets.
Yeah,
What happens to a guy like Devontae Adams who solely joined the Jets because of a guy like Aaron Rodgers? Where do we see a guy like Devontae Adams landing?
we heard some stuff saying he may come back to Green
hmm
Bay.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can see him going back to Green Bay also, but we
Mm,
heard him speak very highly about Mike Tomlin.
mm,
So
mm, mm, mm.
I think that is a team you have to look out for too. I also think that is a player that could mentor a guy who is the ultimate hothead in the NFL.
Mm.
Monte Adams mentoring a guy like George Pickens,
hmm
I think that works. I think that's a
Okay.
good fit. I think I could see him there.
So now looking at Aaron Rodgers, and these guys could be looking at as a duet. Do we see a similar situation where Aaron Rodgers ends up in Pittsburgh and Devontae Adams is there too? You know what I mean? Like maybe Devontae Adams leads the way, signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then we
Yeah.
see um, Aaron Rodgers follow suit. And they do not have a quarterback right now,
Yeah.
as Russell and Justin Fields were both on a 1 year
Yeah.
test the waters contract, uh, and they may both be out the door.
Those guys are attached by the hip, man.
Yeah.
And we even know like Devontae was living with Aaron when he just started with the Jets. These guys, they have a real tight relationship. Mike Tomlin gonna have to take a risk here.
hmm
He has been taking a lot of flack because yes, he's making the playoffs on a regular, yes, no losing seasons, but it's always one and done in the playoffs over
hmm
and over.
hmm
And ever since Big Ben left, AB, Le'Veon Bell, like they all didn't win a chip together, but that was a roster that was supposed to win multiple Super Bowls. Yes, you had a lot of weird personalities going on in that locker room, but as the coach of that team, you're supposed to rally the troops, get them together, get them focused, and they didn't win anything. So I think Tomlin is a guy, defensive, of course. I don't think you. keep trying with a guy like Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Yes, he's young though. I still think you could keep Justin Fields, but it doesn't necessarily mean him as a starter. So I think
Mhm.
Aaron Rodgers, you give him one last shot, see how that goes. Obviously, it's going to be in a tougher division than the AFC East.
Yeah.
AFC North is the cream of the crop,
Yeah, exactly.
but that was his first year back
Mm-hmm.
from the injury. So
100%.
now he has a year under his belt post injury.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens. Am I an Aaron Rodgers fan? Not at all.
Yeah.
But I think great minds could make great things happen.
Yeah.
Tomlin,
And you don't think it's over for him at the moment. You think he still has some juice left in him.
I think he has a little bit of juice left in him, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any confidence saying that he's going to make a deep playoff run.
Of course not. Not in the AFC.
No,
The
no,
AFC
no,
right
no,
now is just
no.
too much going on right there.
Yeah, no. So yeah, that's my thoughts with the
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's something that could work. But yeah, that's how I look at it, bro.
100%. Well, let's head into the draft. The season is wrapped up. We're looking at the draft, the combine.
Yeah.
I believe there is some news around who will be in attendance and who's not going to
Hmm.
be there.
Yeah. There's a there's a familiar name
Mm,
that is not gonna be there. And his name is Shiloh Sanders.
wow.
So he's a safety, hard-hitting safety,
Hmm.
throwback player, Ronnie Lott type safety, Troy Polamalu type safety, hard-hitting dude,
Yeah,
but he gets burnt in coverage.
yeah.
It's been
We
a
saw
tough,
it. We saw it in the what was it? What do they call that bowl? The Senior Bowl when he was getting cooked in Senior Bowl practices. A lot of footage came out, so I think this is telling to why he didn't get a combine invite.
and there was a couple of games in the season where wide receivers made him touch earth, and it was tough for him. It was tough for him,
Yeah.
but a lot of people believe just because of his name,
Hmm.
get a shot. But I'm gonna come clean. I think it's warranted. Like I think
Mm.
he
Yeah.
didn't deserve to get into the combine.
Yeah.
I don't think he was good enough to
Yeah.
get into that combine. So obviously, players get signed undrafted time,
Undrafted. Yeah.
all the
Yeah, I
time.
can see that route for him.
Yeah,
He's probably going to be one of those undrafted players, and maybe he'll have a storyline
yeah,
undrafted, and he's having some impact on the team for sure.
yeah. So that's one of the Colorado guys we want to talk about. But the Heisman Trophy winner,
Hmm.
Travis Hunter, obviously, he's the first person that got invited, but he is going as a CB. He's going as a
Hmm.
corner. Is
Yeah.
that interesting to you? Did you think he would go as a wide receiver or a corner? Or did you think he was gonna do something unthinkable and go as both?
I think it's interesting because his skill set, again, his skill set as a corner, again, he has the ability to track the ball very well, and in coverage, he has the makeup speed and all that, right? But I just think at receiver in the slot, like I just think he could be a more impactful player.
Hmm.
I think the way the league is set up, it
Yeah,
favors receivers, right?
yeah.
Cornerbacks, like when you're going up against like a AJ Brown and these top receive Justin Jettas, Chase, you're gonna get cooked, regardless of the number
Doesn't
one
matter.
CB or
Doesn't
not.
matter.
Like you're gonna get cooked, especially when you have things that just either gonna call a flag or something. So it's not a favorable position. It's one of the hardest positions in football. Um, and again, all the money is with the receivers
I was
too.
gonna just say that.
So like as a corner, like maybe through his internal conversations,
Hmm.
they feel he could be the highest draft pick or whatever the case. Again, they're drafting the player. Does he see time on offense this next season? It's a high possibility.
Yeah,
But maybe they just feel like he tests the best at corner.
yeah.
Maybe it might be that.
Yeah, yeah, no, but he's one of those athletes that he's must see TV, right?
Hmm.
So you have to play in both. We mentioned maybe a package on offense and corner full time, but he has to be on the field, offense and defensive snaps.
Yeah.
One thing about him, yes, he does have to bulk up a little more,
Hmm.
but you mentioned it. Like offense is getting all the calls. And a guy like him who has speed, who can catch the ball at the highest point,
Hmm.
why would you not want him to be a wide receiver or slot full time? It's
Yeah.
going to be tough for whoever has the number one or number two or number three pick.
Yeah.
I don't think he falls further than number three, but it's
Yeah.
going to be tough. And he's
Yeah.
going to have a lot of leverage. And
Hmm.
he's going to have Coach Prime on his side. And you don't want to, that's a guy you don't want to get upset.
100%.
So let's go with like our top five prospects. Let's just name them off. So for me, it's the two quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So Cam Ward and Shador Sanders.
Hmm.
Those guys are gonna be either pick one and two or pick one and three.
Yeah.
Um, I look at it like this: every year a team needs a quarterback.
Yeah.
Every year. So just like off the rip, Giants, Raiders,
Yeah.
Titans,
Yeah.
Browns. You know what I'm saying?
Saints. Saints.
Yeah. So just off
Yeah.
the rip. So teams
Yeah.
always need a quarterback, but then we go Travis. Then
Hmm.
we go Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
And then that fifth spot is it's a little tricky. There's a lot of people say Will Johnson, but for
Will
me,
Johnson, Tate
yep,
McMillan.
McMillan, exactly.
Yeah.
I And I'm just looking at my squad, my Patriots. I know
Mm.
that we have a quarterback already in
Yeah.
Jimmy, but a guy from Texas, their tackle, really
Mm.
good tackle,
You know that always happens, right? Like
Kelvin
the
Banks, and
Joel,
and
the
and it
Joel
would be
pick.
such a Patriots thing to do
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah.
So I look at like those four, those five, those six guys. I think
Yeah.
that's for me. Those are like solidified five, six first picks off the board.
Yeah, I agree with the whole five. I just don't think there's a clear one right now.
Mm,
I guess they can say Cam Ward just because he is the quarterback position, but I don't think it's clear in terms of he surpasses everyone else within that top five. Like if Abdul Carter, maybe they see him as the best player in the draft,
mm,
and he goes number one, I wouldn't be shocked. Um, but I could see Sanders falling, whether it's to the Giants. But that's probably going to be as far as he goes. I don't see he getting past the Giants for sure.
mm,
But then again, it'll be interesting in terms of if Tennessee doesn't go quarterback and they go Abdul Carter or something like that, then some conversations are gonna have to be had, right? In terms of maybe Cam slides, maybe it's not sure who slides, right? So that'll be interesting. But one interesting thing I did see outside of the top five, looking at my Saints at number nine. Mark Ingram recently, I think he was on an interview, and he mentioned the idea of a boom and zoom 2.0. And I think you might know where I'm alluding to right now, but the idea of Ashton Genty
NT and AK.
and AK in
Mm,
the backfield,
mm.
a little boom and zoom. I would love it. I personally love it.
Yeah.
I know AK might be threatened, but AK already got his money. You know, AK is really at the tail end of his
All-time legend Saint.
prime, right? All-time Saint, exactly. So we need to bolster up that position. We need more on offense. So why
Yeah.
not at nine? I know we need. I know we need help in the trenches. I know we need a cornerback. I know hopefully Will Johnson can fall to us, but
Mm.
no, I would love the idea of having a guy like Ashton Genty in the backfield of Kamara and have
Yeah.
him learn from a guy like Kamara as well.
Yeah.
That definitely get me excited again with my guy Kellen Moore
He's fresh off his Super Bowl.
in NOLA, baby. Come on,
Yeah.
man. So
Something else
that's
that happened in NOLA that wasn't as loud.
oof.
Before we wrap it up real quick, the
Yeah.
halftime performance, Kendrick Lamar, fresh off 5 Grammys. I believe the fans didn't get what they wanted. I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Mhm.
But Kendrick Lamar is a conscious rapper, right?
Yeah.
So he's one of those guys that you have to probably listen to twice, probably have to listen to 3 times to really take him in.
Mhm.
and to really get the message,
Yeah.
right? So obviously you had Samuel L. Jackson there. He was acting as Uncle Sam. Um,
Mhm.
he twisted up, like he had some lyrics that changed up some words and stuff. He's talking about
Yeah.
the state of America.
Yeah.
I would say it didn't get turned until the last two songs.
Yeah.
So in this situation where it was a blowout, it was
Mhm.
24-0 at halftime. It was a
Yeah.
blowout. You kind of want to get up again. You want to get riled up again because it's like it's a slapping.
Yeah.
So it took a while for him to get the performance going.
Mhm.
Since it was a lackluster performance, is Drake back now?
Well, we already know it's dropping tomorrow, but yeah, just to go back on the performance.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. A rap performance is always gonna be hard in the Super Bowl, knowing that again, it's predominantly
the
white
crowds.
audience. And he doesn't have the songs like that, and he didn't choose to play the songs like that that were going to get the crowd going. Like he could have definitely had a way better set list
Swimming
to
pools,
amp up the crowd,
money
right? He had a
trees.
focus in terms of the symbolism and the
Yes.
story and the Drake component of it, and
Yeah.
that pulled away from the performance
Mhm.
component. But again, there's going to be people on one side or on the
Yeah.
other. I thought it was an average performance, really and
Yeah.
truly. But I think a rap performance is always going to be hard if you're
Oh,
not doing a lot of theatrics to please the whites.
yeah. No, that's
Yeah,
true. He's on an all-time high right now. The run
yeah,
is crazy.
yeah.
So yeah, he did what he thought was best.
Hmm.
And again, it wasn't absolutely trash, but it wasn't an all-timers. It was like between
No,
like a 6 out of 10 performance, 6.5 out of 10 performance, maybe
yeah,
highest a 7 out of
yeah,
10
yeah,
performance. But
yeah.
yeah, it seems like what I've been seeing a lot on X is a lot of people are saying, oh, after that performance, next year's definitely going to be a white performer.
100%. We're getting Miley Cyrus, fam.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're gonna see what happens. Obviously,
Mm.
Hove is in charge with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, man, that's what we got. Jayo Stole Sports, Jay
Been a great
Lynch.
season, man.
We will talk to y'all. Draft season coming soon.
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes.
we're gonna come out with a mock draft,
Yeah.
something like that, and yeah, y'all be ready, man. You already
Yes,
know,
sir.
y'all subscribe, y'all like, tell a friend, comment. Out of here.